Where did you go to high school at?
Here at Parmersville.
Did you? So you got a lot of childhood memories here?
Oh, yeah. A lot of them.
Do you remember Ted,
Ted.
the governor?
You mean Ned?
Ned?
Oh, yeah. Now, Ned didn't go to school here when I did. He may have gone here a year or two.
Right?
And he started out up at Little Zion. And then he may have gone to school here a year or two, and then right after the war, his mother and dad moved to Dresden, and that's where he went to high school.
Where was they originally from, do you know?
Oh yeah, they were from about 3 miles in the country here.
No, I'm talking about their roots. Was they
Quarters?
was they German?
I don't know about that.
There was a lot of people that moved into this territory in the early 1800s that was from Germany, you know. And of course,
Scots-Irish. That's what I was thinking.
I think he was Scots-Irish.
My quarter is a clan, Scottish clan.
Really?
On the banks of Loch Lomond.
Really?
That's right.
Well, he was
I
a
think actually
he was a talented man, wasn't he?
Excuse
The governor was a talented man,
me?
very talented. He could work with people. He could deal with people. He could deal with situations. He was good for this state.
Yeah, and he was an officer in that guard unit.
Really?
Made a good governor, and I have to mention the fact that we enjoy this facility because of Ned.
Really?
Yeah, the bank was here, and he was on the board of the bank.
I see.
And when they moved out, they had persuaded the board of the bank to just donate it to the Historical Society.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah.
I knew he built the library and some more things.
In Dresden.
Uh-huh.
I'll mention one other thing about Ned, that his father was a sharecropper around here, but in late 30s he went to Detroit to work, and Ned and Miss Lucille had a room or two in Miss Florence and Fawn's house. And so they lived here right next to the school those 2 years that his father was working in the plant.
And did he go to school here then?
Yeah, in those
years?
2 years. And
Okay.
he was probably 3rd grade, 4th grade, something like that.
This story about Ned, of course this is not about the fair, but that I heard it. He knew how to get things done. And he had a bill up that he wanted to get passed. It was, he thought it was pretty important. And there was of course Ned was a Democrat, but there was a Republican up East Tennessee there that he wanted to get his vote. And he sent him a picture of road equipment to his office several different days. Several days he sent that. Dozer and grader and all this. And finally the guy called Ned up and said, Governor, said, why are you sending me these pictures? He said, if you don't vote for my bill, that's the closest you're going to get to see any road equipment up in your area, in your district. And I think the bill passed.
Well, I remember later, when he was in high school, he was, of course, a big boy and a good football player, but he played basketball too, and they were playing in the old gym up here, and Ned wiped out about half of the Parmersville team on one play down the court. And his dad, Harmon, was standing by one of those old pot-bellied stoves in there, and he said, you know, Ned may be a little too big to play basketball.
Magdalene, Magdalene McWhorter, she says I'm a McWhorter, and I don't know what she means by that. But that's what she tells me every time we go to see her.
Well, I can tell you a little bit about
Okay. I don't know if I want to hear it or not, but okay.
It's good.
Yeah, okay.
My great, is that right? You third third grade. Grandmother
Uh-huh.
was married 3 times.
Okay,
The first time she married a Pentecost.
right.
The next time she married him a quarter.
Uh-huh,
The next time she married an Olds.
I see.
And my grandmother Smithwick, which was a Brown,
Uh-huh.
and Ned Ray's daddy were first cousins.
Well, that
all
covers me
come from that
completely, doesn't
family.
it?
They all come from that one lady.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, Carol's grandmother was a McWhorter, wasn't
Yeah.
she?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
My grandmother who married the Pentecost was a McWhorter. And there was 11 children in the family. And I wrote the story of them coming from Texas in a covered wagon. There were 11 children in it.
Wow.
Yeah.
I don't even know what my great-great-grandmother's name was, but it was,
Well, my sister went with Thomas, who was
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
Thomas Irving.
Thomas Irving.
Thomas Irving.
Well, I aggravated the tale.
Well, you know, his children, they come home to see Magdalene and they come to see us when they come home. And they're real sweet. They're real sweet children. 2 of them are nurses. And I don't know what the boy does, but anyway.
In other words, they haven't forsaken their family roots.
No, they have not.
That's a good thing.
They have not.
Then, I guess Thomas Irving lived somewhere else for years, but he's buried.
Yes,
He's buried in-
Magdalene buried him.
with-
They were separated, they were divorced.
He lived in Chicago. always.
Magdalene.
Well, any other fair stories?
Yeah, I got one.
Okay.
I'm a transferred Yankee, as you probably know. My first fair was in 1970, when my wife started teaching here. And I went to the fair, and I come from Southwest Michigan, and I'd never seen anything like this. And I was just flabbergasted. It was fantastic. But I went to the afternoon game. I didn't know who Parmersville was playing. Brad Childs was the coach, and I knew Brad a little bit. And he said, "Well, why don't you come down and sit by me while he's coaching?" I said, "Okay." And again, I don't remember the opposition, but Parmersville lost. And I said, "Brad, dude, that was a tough game." He says, "Yeah." He said, "Once you should have won that game." I says, "Yeah, you should have." He says, "We were shooting 75%. With that percentage, we should have won." I says, "Yeah, but Brad, you only took 4 shots." You only took only 4 shots in one game.
3 out of 4. Not bad.
And so when you mentioned basketball, then I said,
That was, basketball was a big part of Thursday, always.
they also had the shooting contest. There was one gentleman there, maybe one of you in here, who was really decked out in a shooting outfit. I'd never seen this before, and he was shooting clay pigeons. That's something. But like the ladies over there said, the food, the hamburgers for the next several years that I came was great. I ended up, and they asked me to sell tickets to the various booths. Mostly got after the students, the Hornswoggle men to pay a little more. I really enjoyed it. But I'll never forget Brad saying that. "We should have won. You took 4 shots." 75% shooting.
And we always had a big meal in the lunchroom.
Yeah.
Very hard for the ladies to prepare.
The ladies club
Yeah.
did that, I think.
Well, just the ladies of the PTA originally brought chicken. It was chicken and dressing. They all cooked their chickens at home.
Yeah.
Killed them and cooked them at home, probably.
Yes.
And then later on, they cooked the turkeys in the lunchroom. I guess somebody got after them.
Does anybody here remember whenever the Knoxville Fair was?
World Fair?
The World's Fair?
I remember.
82.
Yeah, I do too.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
1980?
Maybe. I didn't go, but I remember being there.
That really stimulates the economy around in that area whenever they do something like that, you know?
I guess it did, yeah.
I mean, it did help to enlarge Knoxville whenever they done that.
Everybody wondered how they got it there, if you remember.
Yeah.
How they managed to get the World's Fair there.
I think John J. Hooker was promoter of that.
Well,
wasn't he?
There's some local folks that were pretty responsible for it.
Jake Butcher was really one of the prime movers.
We got a good road system.
Yeah. The road built around it.
Tell about Dan Summers winning prizes with his crop.
Yeah, you know, you had prizes for the best 6 ears of corn, the tallest cerisa, and stuff like that. And it was Fred Watkins and Dan Summers had about 5 entries in the ag show. None of it was theirs. They went to other people's fields, you know, and got together. And the Cerisa, the county, I guess, had sowed these ditch banks, and they pulled up Cerisa off the state highway, and they won about 4 prizes. Yeah.
Without any.
And I can believe that about both of them.
Yeah.
Did they have the games like the ring toss, bottle toss, and
Yeah.
such as?
Some of the booths,
Have those?
Yeah.
Yeah.
and they had a bingo booth.
Goldfish, remember you throw it? Did
Yeah.
Okay.
And darts at balloons.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't remember what it cost to play those games, probably a nickel.
Yeah, it couldn't cost much, because we didn't have.
Yeah.
I guess around here close, Martin always had pretty much so the fair, did they not?
Well, I don't remember much about the Martin Fair. I do remember they always had the carnival.
4th of July was
Fourth
big
of
time.
July. Yeah,
I remember that.
the big carnival at 4th of July.
And now they have the Bing
Soybean Festival.
Soybean Festival.
Martin?
Who started that? Do you know? Was that Randy Brundridge that started that?
No. I slip of the tongue. Jerry Gresham.
Jerry did?
Yeah, he was faculty member at UT in the ag department.
Okay.
And
He was the,
frontman for him.
okay.
Jerry Gresham. He
That's
died
turned out to be a real prominent thing for them up there.
It's still big.
I was grown before I really knew that 4th of July was something besides the carnival at Martin. I thought that was the 4th of July.
Well, Daddy let me quit work and go.
Yeah.
I'd gather up all the old feed sacks and take them to Joe Boyd's and sell them for a nickel or a dime a piece to get some extra money to spend at Martin at 4th
Well,
of July.
You know, being late in September, you could earn a little money picking cotton. At 5 cents a pound. Earn a little money for the fair.
Does anybody here ever remember collecting pop bottles?
Sure.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Back when they
Still doing it.
charged, yeah.
What was it, $5, 5 cents a piece or something like that?
I don't remember what you got, but
You collect enough of them,
one of the guys who ran the local store here quit buying them back because they didn't come back to him from some that he sold. You know, people would go out all over the county and pick up bottles and bring them back up there and sell them back to him. So he quit doing that.
I had a friend in Fulton that would go around the grocery store and climb over the fence, set them out, and then go around and sell them back to them.
Yeah.
They go and spend the money for it. No, it was mine. Yeah.
A lot of graft involved with it.
I think
Get
it's
a carton
interesting.
of drink at Dolphin's Rubber Store for 25 cents. 6 of them in there. You get 10 to 25 cents for them at this store.
They were nickel a piece or
That's it.
6 for 25.
All a million up there.
And 12-ounce Pepsis. You know, that was a whole lot of drink for a quarter.
You remember the honor system? Where if you got a pick a pack of peanuts or
Oh, yeah.
you put 10 cents in the jar? We was doing okay in Cydonia until somebody stole the whole jar. They kind of quit that.
I think it's interesting that basketball's always been such a big part of the fair. And that even before the old gym was built, they played on the dirt outside. I don't remember that either, but
I don't remember that.
Is the founder to that Barnamy and Bailey? Are those the founders of those type of activities that basically went on in the South?
I have no idea.
Wouldn't you say that would be the case though?
Well, I don't know.
The circus that went all around in the 1800s on the railroad and stuff. That probably started that, don't you think?
Could be. I don't have any idea.
Then what was it?
Has anybody in here played on a dirt court over Union?
Yes.
Let's see your hand.
There was a team from Stella Roof and Big Dinner.
Oh, Robert did
In
over
the eighth
there.
grade, remember they had a blue uniform, and they were men, they were boys. You remember that? Jim, you probably remember that team used to come play. It was in the eighth grade. And I mean, some of them had to be 17 or 18 years old. I think Biggs Danner might have been the coach. He was maybe the principal of the school or something. But it's like a bunch of pros playing little boys in the eighth grade.
Well, it wasn't uncommon for people who went to one-room schools and they finished eighth grade and they didn't have a chance to go to high school, so they would wind up taking the eighth grade over again.
Yeah.
That's true.
How many years did Dorton Farm play?
3 years it goes on.
Dorton is the one, this is not the fair either, but during the war, he was in the Navy, and of course, all the stores, Pete Basil's store, and he came in and said, yeah, I said he'd just gotten out of boot camp and did a shakedown cruise for about 6 weeks off the coast, but he'd been to the war. He was in the Navy, and he said he was a tail gunner in the P-38.
Yeah, I remember that, Bob.
It said the guy above him, above the turrets had got shot. He said, I told that pal, turn this damn thing over. He said, I'm bleeding to death. He said, all this blood. He had all kinds of stories. He just got out of a shakedown cruise.
When I was about 5 years old, my birthday present, which back then you didn't get gifts except at Christmas. You didn't get birthday gift or Easter gift or any of that kind of stuff.
You were deprived.
Yeah, I was. Anyway, my mother was teaching at Hillcrest. Now, June Kay will know where that was, don't you, June?
yes, ma'am.
Yeah, okay. It was off the highway between here and Dresden. And I got bored during the day and decided I would write on the wall a little bit. And of course that was a no-no. And my mother sent this boy outside to get a switch to spank me with. And because she believed in spanking. And this boy went out and he came in with this little bitty twig that was limber, and I sat with him the rest of the day.
He was a good friend.
He was a good friend, yeah.
It was funny, the teachers that were the strictest on you, the one you remember most. I remember Miss Devlin. She was a great teacher. My hand was blistered. I don't know how to take a rule like that. But I remembered her fondly for as long as she was living.
Your granddon too. Yeah, I
Yeah.
got several of them.
She knew how to pull hair too. She's pulling my hair and said, I'll get you back some way. So I married her daughter.
This is not about the school, but let me ask you something. How many of you seen that B-17 flying fortress come over in World War II and we're down in the swamp down here?
I don't remember it
You got-
coming over, but I remember seeing it
Bob,
after
remember,
it crashed.
I seen it flying over.
I saw the
You see
lights really falling.
You seen it fall,
It was a break in the clouds,
okay?
and I saw that thing turn. I didn't know what it was at the time, and Jim and a bunch of us went down on bicycles, and they were still, the men were still in it. You remember that, Ben?
Oh, yeah.
Bob, were you in the group, we were riding a bicycle and we got about the Irvin Mills place and we heard it up there? Were you in that group or were you, we were riding a bicycle, there was 3 or 4 of us, or maybe 4 or 5.
That was probably up above. I was standing in our backyard when I saw it.
Were you?
And then you guys came down on your bicycles,
Yeah.
we went on down.
Yeah.
And you know, it was.
Did it crash? Did it crash?
Yeah.
Killed them all but one, I think.
Yeah.
Ben and Jim, did y'all see it come over?
No, I didn't see it come over.
The other day in March, my grandson was with me, and I wanted to show him where I lived, and the little house where I was born in, the fuselage, if y'all remember, was about 500 yards out in that field, and I was born in that corner. But anyway, the house close to it, there was some people out there. Now this was the other day, in March, and where Darrell Laws lived, and they were out there target practice or something. Man and his family, and I asked them, if they were lost, and they gave me their name. And I said, "Well, y'all too young, I guess, to remember about this B-17 that crashed." And she said, "No," she says, "as a matter of fact, last week," said there was a group of people came back here, I guess military and maybe others. They're thinking about putting a marker there, and this was last March.
Really?
And it's just
About
coincidence.
that.
Yeah. Well, really, yeah. But I think one man survived out of that. Just
I believe one survived, the rest of them died.
Was y'all just kids whenever all that happened?
Yeah, I was. And
I
you know,
had gone to Cindy Pentecost and moved to Martin that time, and I went to spend the weekend with her. And my dad picked me up that Sunday afternoon, and he was telling me about it.
yeah,
So
I was
know
at
it was on a Sunday. I'm pretty sure it was Sunday.
I was at the movie in Dresden, and we came out after the show, and they were saying that the plane had crashed. And it was the next day, I guess, before the MPs got there to secure it. And so,
They had a lot of trucks and stuff.
was it that afternoon? But so many kids got there before that, and every kid in the community had a box full of 50 caliber machine guns. You know,
Well, they moved, when they moved all that stuff from there, they were on those great big trucks that came by our house.
yeah, it was the next Sunday, I guess, before I got to see it. Of course, it was. There was a big crowd there, but it was off limits. You couldn't get close to it.
Was there ever an investigation?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, sure, yeah.
We got a book over there about the airplane falling and about the investigation and even listed all the personnel that was on it, all the airmen that were on it, and where they were from, their age, even their size, their weight,
Really?
everything.
They had that in Dresden Enterprise not long ago too. They had that in Dresden Enterprise not long ago.
Yeah,
Just the
but
green
this
is right
book,
with the, marker.
Kenneth Rogers, his nephew, is a retired major in the Marine Corps, and he said, "I've heard so much about it." He told Kenneth, he said, "I'm gonna get the information from the Defense Department through his computer and all." And it's the book over there, the spiral book. And I think there was three men that survived, the co-pilot and the bombardier and a sergeant survived, I believe it was.
I see.
Not in that crash.
No, I think there was only one that survived.
They were, the pilot and them were still in the
Where's that book?
cockpit
How
when
many
we saw them.
survived?
Three?
Miss Price down there took one of them boys in, and she had that boy in AB in World War II, over in Blooming Grove. Took one of them boys in there and put him on the bed in there. Some of them boys, the parachutes didn't open up, and where their bodies hit in them hard fields down there, they buried up in it. And Uncle Reuben helped get some of them boys out of them parachutes down in the Donhill Swamp, out of them big cypress trees. He knowed that bottom, and he went in there, they did, and got them out. You know, I wanna ask you something, one thing on that balloon that come over in World War II from Camp Tyson. Does anybody in here, Robert, you remember it, Robert?
I remember it.
You remember it? Okay?
Yeah.
It, down there in that, tied down there at down there past John Payne's on that hill. I know he remembered it.
How many fatalities was it in the plane crash?
7, I think.
7?
There's a crew is about 9 or 10, and they say 3 survived, so
Yeah.
I guess about 7.
You know, for years,
Different story on that.
where Patsy Cline died, they just had a little bitty thing out there, and somebody, I guess the state, went in and refurbished all that and turned it into a really, really nice, elegant park up there in Camden now. And that's what really needs to be done down here in honor of their sacrifice, those men that died.
There is a group that's working on
It really does.
They're collecting funds and
Yeah.
already got the site selected.
I've seen that airplane when it blowed up in there.
It did.
And it did disintegrate because parts of it, a big part of it, as you say, the fuselage was right behind Enos Wilkerson's house. And one of the engines was half a mile away.
One engine fell in the granddaddy's front yard.
Yeah. And
Scattered
so,
all over
I don't, did it explode? Did you hear an explosion or did it?
It just big ball of black smoke come out of it, and then it started falling.
It sounded to me like, and I recall that the engine just revved, just extremely, like any engine, if you rev it enough, it'll explode. But it's supposed to have been sabotage, I think. There was some sabotage, quite a bit of sabotage in these 17 days.
Where'd that plane come out of? Up here, Fort Campbell?
Dyersburg.
Dyersburg?
Between Dyersburg and,
Halls actually is where the air base was.
Really?
Dyersburg Army Air
Down below
Base.
Dyersburg. Yeah.
Wow.
we went down there after the war. We went
And y'all still remember it just like it was yesterday?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember.
Don't
That was,
forget that.
I guess that was big news, huh?
During the war, yeah. In fact, during the war, whenever the plane came over, we went out in the yard and looked at it.
Right.
I don't remember that one that old.
We were interested in airplanes.
I was 12 years old.
You was 12?
Okay, anything else about the fair? It was a big day and we can't ever recreate it. But the experiences that we had, it was really something to experience because it was a day when all of the community came together.
Bill, do you still have a fall festival or nothing?
Well,
When was the last year?
We always have, our next program is on our traditional fair day. It's the last Saturday in September. And sometimes we do have a program that is sort of connected. It's not a festival, but we did the surrounding schools for 4 or 5 years on that day. Brundage and Little Zion and Union No. 1 and Webb. We did all of those. But we don't have anything like a fall festival.
This might not have been a fair. In fact, I think this was at Halloween. We had something at the school. I think it was Halloween. I'm pretty sure it was. Because it was Harvest Moon. And I know you remember Robbie McLean.
Mm-hmm.
She and Kayla were good friends.
Yeah.
And Robbie was spending the night with Kay. And Junior Rickman was going to go with her. And Miss Chloe, Robbie's mother, said, well, you can go, but said Kayla's got to go with you. So they had to get somebody for Kay, and Rick and I were pretty good friends, although he's a couple of years ahead of me. And for some reason they said, well, get Bob. So that was Kay and I used to call it our first encounter. She didn't like that too much. But the thing I remember is, I guess we bobbed the apple and cakewalked or whatever we had. We got tired, so we took a walk down to where the old baseball diamond was, just beside the church. There was an elm tree, about 10 inches or something like that. Nice
Right
good
behind
moon
the
there,
church.
and a big harvest moon. And decided to go down there and take a walk. Now, this was their first time together. And we sat there and talked a while, and she might have let me hold her hand, I don't know, but I told with friends for years afterward, we'd talk about, well, when did y'all meet and so forth. I told that boy, I really exaggerated too. She smacked me on, Bob, you know better than that, that didn't happen. But when I came by there the other day, of course I drove around and almost, I was emotional when I saw how the old school had, gone and everything. But I remembered when I got down on the other side, where that old maple, not maple, but elm tree was, because it wasn't there. So, and of course the moon was shining. That's one of the things that I reminisce with her moments before her death. And she actually awakened and responded. So that's not a fair story, but it's a Palmersville story.
It was kind of a rite of passage to climb that old elm tree.
Yeah, it was.
Climb up in it.
Is that the tree behind the church?
Right behind the church.
Well, I got a different story than his has, and I shouldn't even tell
Ben,
this. But
Ben, how many?
there were four of us, and we decided we were gonna learn how to smoke. So we sent, I won't call his name, but he didn't live too far from me. And it wasn't the Cantrells, it was somebody else. And we sent him to Basil and Pete's. And I said, do not tell Pete, because he was married to my cousin. I said, do not tell him who this is for. So they went down there and bought Lucky Strikes. Well, I took one draw on that, and I have not smoked since then. That taught me right then.
It broke you.
Smoking wasn't for me.
How old was you? 6, 7?
Sixth grade.
Oh, okay.
I
You
was
was.
old enough to know better.
Oh, okay.
I found out, and I went to that church too all my life.
Yeah.
Did it make you sick?
Oh. I never did pick up another cigarette after that either.
Joe, what was it?
How many of you boys got to play in the old gym at Parmersville up here at the Four Stoves?
Yeah. Yeah.
What's the other?
Quite a few.
The walls used to shake, didn't they?
Oh, yeah. The floor. We run up and down the floor would kind of bounce along with you.
I remember
In those old brick walls.
second grade dance when they started doing
I played the first game, the first
Yeah.
big game.
And if you remember, I don't remember this, but the original design for that gym, it just had brick walls. And they got them up
They
so
weren't real
high.
straight, were they?
They got them up so high and they started wobbling. And so that's why they built all of those the columns on the outside to hold up the brick walls.
Was 51 the first year they played in the new gym?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that's right.
Yeah.
Jane remember.
You remember the lighting system in the old gym there?
Mhm.
Big old light bulbs in there?
And you know what the reflectors were? They were wash pans turned upside down.
No, they wasn't.
Reagan was the principal at that, the lights took away the bulbs. I don't know how, nobody got a ladder long enough to go up there. They wouldn't know how they was gonna get the light bulbs changed. So I come up there and walked that on the rail. I heard that thing we tried to change the light bulbs.
Yeah.
That's scary.
It was,
Way up there.
it was tall, really tall. And they, I don't remember this, but before the PBA reached Palmersville in 1940, they had a Delco system. And
A
Delco
electrical grid?
electrical system, well, it was,
Battery,
and
Huh?
they say when the winter, maybe ice on the lines, that the lights would go way down in that old gym, and then it'd come up, and then it'd go way down.
You didn't have to be out from the blink.
Yeah.
Ben, let me
Yeah.
ask you a question.
Okay.
When was the old gym built up there?
I think it was 37.
1937.
I think it was.
37 or 8.
Somewhere in the late 30s. It was a WPA project, I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, walls fell down first, and they had to
Yeah.
put some retaining
Ben, I had a question to ask, and it's kind of the same era about when they built the school. Does anybody know anything about Culver Dairy at Fulton?
I don't. Culver Dairy, anybody remember that?
Uh-uh.
The Fulton Society had contacted me, and I just thought I'd ask.
I don't know.
What was they notorious for?
Ice cream, it was a creamery, Culver Dairy.
Oh, really?
What they had found, Ben, is they'd found the coins that, you turned the coin in, and on the coin it said redeemed for a quart of milk.
Oh, really?
And
Wow.
Well, the old gym, if you remember, it just had a flat roof, and it was notorious for leaking. And when they had that big ice storm, what year was that? 50, maybe February of 51, just before they moved into the other. But anyway, the school had been out for 2 or 3 days because it was a terrible ice storm. But there was a basketball game scheduled for Saturday night, so Mr. Bernie Farm went up and built fires in those stoves, and it heated up and melted the ice on the roof, and it all started pouring through the gym. So we had to call off that game because you couldn't play in there for all the water that was leaking into it.
One Halloween, some of the older, it was way back, it was older than our bunch. They took a buggy or a wagon or something apart and took it up on the top of the roof and put it back together up there. Was it a buggy or was it a wagon?
A wagon, I think.
Now, who would have done that?
We had a wagon they brought in the front door, and the tongue went through the stage.
The stage, knocked a hole in the stage.
Well, I don't know that I've ever told you this, but I should have been in your grade. Mama started me to school. I wasn't quite 6, but she thought I ought to go to school. I had 4 sisters that were in school there then. And I went and I can't remember, well, I do remember it too, who was a boy that was 3 or 4 years older than most of us, and he scared me, I guess. And I called him so-and-so ugly face. He sat in front of me, and I cried for about 3 days. And finally, they called my sister in there, and they talked about it, and they said, well, maybe we'll just keep Bob out till the next year when he's a little older. Yeah. So that's why I'm in your class, Jim, instead of
We're the same age, just about.
Yeah.
Your birthday is in
February 3rd.
February. Well, see, mine's January the 3rd.
Yeah.
So we're almost the same age.
See, you're a lot older than I was then. Yeah. But I cried. They said, and my sisters, well, Mama let him stay at home. She did. I loved school from then on. I mean, had a big time.
So you was tender-hearted whenever you was a child.
Well, yeah, I did.
But you were the right age to be in your class. I was too young for my class.
Well, I would have been a little bit too young according to the rules. And so Miss Ailey, I believe, said, well, why don't you just wait and let him start next
See, we lived right across from the school, and they talked my mother into sending me so they'd have another body there and to count. But I wish they'd waited for another year before they started me.
You mentioned Halloween. It was a perilous time in Parmersville. Halloween was.
Fires out in the street.
They built fires in the middle of the road up there, and then started a little fire, just little playful fire. Well, then all the kids just started getting up all the junk they could find and coming in there, and pretty soon it was a bonfire, and coals were falling down on every building in Parmersville. I was afraid the whole
I have to ask this question. With you being so close to the Kentuckians, did the Kentuckians' influence and culture have an effect on y'all down here?
Not much.
couldn't get across the river.
Yeah, it was-
Couldn't get it.
Bother us.
I see.
Yeah.
I see.
We didn't have much communication.
Yeah, communications was poor back then. Roads was bad.
Yeah.
So the group of people up in land between the lakes, y'all was not aware of the flood that TVA caused a lot of them to have to move out of their territories. And then I think it was in the 60s, whenever Kennedy flew over, that basically put the final nail to the coffin as far as removing all of them. Y'all wasn't familiar with all that was going on up there?
Vaguely, we knew about that.
Yeah, we knew about that.
That was really bad to displace that many people. That was really a sad thing to do that.
That was back in the 40s.
Yeah.
When they closed it down and back the water all the way up Big Sandy, and there was some people that they had bought their land and they settled in this area. Like the Coopers down here, and I think Gary Keithley maybe, and
Mr. Farmer, I think.
Mr. Farmer, and
Golden Pond was the name of that area, wasn't it?
Yes, sir.
Well,
Golden Pond. Yes, sir.
Golden Pond was down in Kentucky.
Yes, sir.
That was the,
My sister, that's where.
But TVA really refurbished this whole area. I mean, look at Danville. That was a city, our town. Now it's underwater, and there was so many sacrifices that occurred during that time that a lot of people wasn't aware of. Just so you and I could have what we have today, called electricity.
yeah,
but,
took a lot of property.
Took a lot of property, and also it damaged a lot of people's lives.
that's where our electricity.
Was there ever, up here at Parmersville School, was there ever a school wagon that run up our covered wagon that you rode to school?
I don't remember a school wagon in Palmersville. There was one over Union.
Yeah, I rode it for years.
Yeah, I don't remember a school wagon in Palmersville. I do remember the first bus we got was that little bus that
Cracker Box. Cracker Box.
Zach McClure drove it a lot later, and he picked up the kids from over in Union and brought them over here.
What'd she call it Cracker Box for? What'd she call it Cracker Box for? Was it just a small little? It was a wooden box that you carried, and they called it a Cracker Box.
I guess some did. It was built on the frame of a truck.
Right.
Just built up a wooden structure.
Something that interested me was your mother's family going to out west in the covered wagon. I never heard that until you got one of you guys that wrote about it.
Yeah.
I thought that was great.
Bob knows where it's at.
Technically, I ain't drove the first bus from Union.
Palmersville.
They claim that a lot of people migrated over in the Weakley County area. Of course, it was still a territory then. That come out of the Parmersville area over into the Dresden area, that actually devoted Dresden as it being Dresden. But there was as many or more people here in this area, the way that I understand it, as it was up in Dresden. Why they chose for Dresden to be the county seat, I don't know, because in actuality, this is actually the oldest part of Weakley County.
Because it was in the more.
But the
It
Dresden's
was
more
more in the
centered.
center of the county.
Yeah,
More
Dresden was
easily accessed from everywhere.
more in the center.
Is that why they done that?
It was between Martin and Dresden, wasn't it? When they're always.
Oh, Martin wasn't even there.
I know, but I mean, later on, they
They could have wanted to move it, yeah.
And
We
they,
can't reach the road, but I want to ask you a question.
There was a
How
reason.
many men were killed down at Lockridge down there in that battle, at the Civil War battle?
Where?
Lockridge Mill, Bondurant's Levy.
How many were killed down
I don't know, we've had 2 programs on that. Does anybody, how many?
6, I think.
6, he says 6 were killed
there?
there.
One of them was a high official in the Civil War. Did y'all got a picture of that here?
Could be, and you know, there's that famous picture of, was it Ms. Lockridge who took one of them in and gave him the quilt so he could cover up his uniform. He was a Yankee,
Yeah.
and he'd been wounded, but she took him in and gave him that quilt to cover up his uniform so he could ride back, get back to the Union line.
Supposedly, there's still, for a long time, there was still blood on that floor.
That's what I used to hear.
My grandfather joined the fight.
Ben,
He and Mr. Bonder were good friends.
B. Stowe.
let me ask you Ben something. Is any of them boys buried down there, what much saying they buried over in front of that house, some of them?
I don't
They
know.
down buried there?
I don't know.
I think there's rumors they are.
I'm thinking now.
They probably are. 6 of them were killed. They're buried down there somewhere.
Is there any marker? No marker?
Green field.
Up on the Latham Road, there's a historical marker about the back.
There is.
Graduate from Knoxville.
From
How many skirmishes was there in this area? Do you know?
97 and 58.
Gosh, no.
That's what you
This
graduated.
one, that's the one we know
Remember
about.
seeing you.
but
You graduated then, the summer.
Union and the Confederate armies were
Were you there?
operating
I was
in
in
this
the
territory kind of
Yeah.
back and forth.
Really?
So, but I don't know
What it,
of
was
any
there
other
with you?
skirmishes in this
Oh,
area.
no, no. I
Other coaches.
was, you know, I had gone to school
Up-
in
Might have
3
been,
years.
yeah.
Up towards New Johnsonville and